All right, starting the day off with the Porsche Cayenne. Gonna go for the GYEON foam. This stuff is like shaving cream. It just really attacks the paint. Great stuff, clings on there, long work time. Mix it up with a little bit of Porsche Cayenne Green Star, give it a little bit more bite. And we're just gonna foam this whole thing down. Shooting it into all these little areas, especially the side view mirrors, under that sun visor there. I see people foam the cars all the time. They just like aim it aimlessly, like you really gotta shoot it to the areas you wanna clean it. We live in a three-dimensional world, so get from every angle, just get everything. And when you do this every day, you need some motivation, so I'd be sipping on these all the time. Going through and getting everything clean with the brush makes a big difference at the end. Look at all this dirt coming out everywhere. You would think washing it would get it out of there. Nope, it does not. Just go through and get everything nice and clean before any polishing happens. Gonna make it so much better at the end. And look at all the dirt coming out of that emblem. Insane. And see how I pinch the hairs, the fibers on the brush? Makes a big difference. When I see people just grab the brush and rub it over things, it's not going to do anything if the bristles don't actually make it into the area you want to clean. So really pinch and manipulate those bristles and get them into the areas that you want it. And I never see anybody clean the bottom side like this. I never see anybody clean those areas, so I think that's really important to get that spring down there. And going through all the nooks and crannies, just all the various areas that you can clean with the brush. Really, really makes a big difference. And the previous owner to this had waxed it a lot, so a lot of wax buildup in those areas. So I'm going through, I'm rinsing it down right now. I have not actually made a contact wash with it whatsoever. I want to knock off as much as possible before I even touch this paint. See that little white piece flake off on the right? That was polish. So as much as you can, get this stuff off there before you start touching it, the better. So I'm going to take these rims off, but I put some iron remover on them just to start, might as well. And I'm foaming the car again for the second time, and I'm actually going to go through and make contact with it this time. Start breaking down the road film. So I always save the bottom for last. See how dirty that is down there? Right here I'm going to go in, all the door jambs, all these rubber gaskets. Really just use the rag and really just make sure all of it is clean. Sometimes a brush will give you the illusion of it being clean, but when you hit it with a rag, it's going to come clean, especially if you got the pressure right there. And after that right here, going through the total remover from GYEON. And this car definitely had a lot of wax and polish on it, so let's get all that off there. Really will uncover the true clarity of the paint, what's really going on. Sometimes wax and stuff, if it's a glaze or something, it can hide what's really going on. So I'm really going to work it in there. And right here on this gasket, you get a lot of buildup of wax and stuff from people over the years. You'll see it on cars. And right here I'm going up at like a 45 to really get the rim. I see a lot of people shoot the rims and they'll be like aiming down. You got to hit it from all angles. Get a little closer with the pressure washer, using the pressure to really clean the pores of the plastic. Really just get that road grime off there. Right here I'm rinsing down all the total remover. Probably like the third time I've rinsed the car at this point. Get it nice and clean. You can see the water sticking a lot more on the hood now. It's really starting to break down the wax and the polish and everything that was on there. Getting a little close right there, but I know the limit. You gotta get that polish out of there, it's really caked up in these areas. And see the condition of the paint? You can really see the swirls now with the wax gone. Going through with the blow dryer, blow drying everything. And when you're doing a ceramic coating job, you really need to get all that water out of there. Like one drip onto the coating. Like a lot of cars, I won't even coat it until the second day. I won't even attempt to ceramic coat in the same day because the water will just drip forever So blowing all the water out is a must. All the cracks, all the trim. Right here I'm drying it. I'm going through with a rag on both of those gasket seams. Really just cleaning all of the dirt out. And you know, rag work is something that people really overlook. It doesn't look glamorous, but you have to be skilled with the rag. Like I'm like a master with the rag. I love the rag. The rag will get you like major results. And it's just way to go. Get it under the gaskets, get everything, and getting it all taped up right here. We don't want any polish on any of these rubber gaskets, and especially between the doors, people just go over those door seams and it gets ugly. Just tape it off. Right here, going in with a 21 millimeter Rupes. It is a pretty big pad size and choice for this, but as you can see, my pad stays rotating the whole time. I'm very aware of the power cord down there. It's not hitting the paint or anything. When you do it as much as I do, sometimes it's nice to get it off your shoulder if you don't have to have it on there. But right here up and close, you can see full pad rotation does not bog down or stop. And contrary to what people believe, you can tilt the DA. I actually gave it a little tilt as if it was the rotary, and it spun just fine. The reason why it bogs down on people is because they don't understand how a rotary works, so the machine is saving them from burning the paint. That little tilt right there is keeping it spinning. So I went with a 21 because a lot of these panels are pretty flat, and just to get the job done faster, it will cut a little quicker. So get a nice result with just a compounding stage. I'm happy with that. The customers didn't want 100%, but I'll bring it to like 95, 98%. You know, I won't go a full 100, but it's going to look really good. So right here, what I'm demonstrating is I hit it with the compound one time, very gently on black cars, only brand new rags. Got to be fresh out the wrapper, and then I'll go over it again without adding any more compound. And what this is going to do is it's going to refine it. It's like an in-between step. So people do compound and they'll say, yep, see that DA haze? See that compound haze? That's what you want. No, that is not what you want. The compound haze is because when you first put the compound on there, it has a lot of particulate, a lot of abrasives. When you wipe it off and do it the second time, they're broken down. So now you have like a medium in-between stage. That's how you get the black paints looking good. So right here, I'm going to go by hand and polish all these edges. You know, they build up water and minerals over time, and the polisher just can't get to it. Just got to do it by hand with the rag work like I'm talking about. Really is the way to do it. Getting all that dialed. And right here, these pillars definitely had seen a lot of touching. They were scratched up pretty bad, so I'm going in with the wool, medium wool pad. And I just like Meguiar's compound. And then I'm going through with a Koshikemi black medium polishing pad and finishing polish, 210, Meguiar's 210. And really refining these down. Nice and slow, breaking down the polish. That's what's going to make them look really rich and black, is just working it all the way down. Essentially, the last pass, almost no polish at all. Yeah, those are looking nice. And I will go over them one more time with the white pad, and they'll be game tight. A little bit of edge work right here. Kind of a big machine for this, but hey, it's getting it done, you know? A smaller machine does look fancier and is necessary sometimes, but a bigger machine does cut faster. So this really is just cutting to the chase, and I'm keeping it real game tight. It's nice and close, and then everything else, I'm in the heat of the moment. I just do it by hand. It just seemed to be the right combination for this, but sometimes you got to drop it down to a 1 inch or 2 inch or 3 inch pad, and there's a time and place. But this particular car knocked it out no problem. And around those sensors right there, you really want to make sure your pad is not loaded up with polish or compound. You'll get it all in those rubber seals, and I'm very aware of those seals, and when I'm done, they look just like they came out the factory. There is nothing in those areas at all. And right here, after all the compounding, I really like to go through with compressed air and start cleaning the car up now. Start getting it ready one step closer. So I'm going to go through, blow all the air off of it, all the dust off it with the air. I'm going to go through with GYEON Prep, and I'm actually going to remove all of the compound. Look at all this compound I'm still pulling out. This is not me. This is like polish or wax from when it came in, dried up and crusty. You would think after all that washing, all the brushing, everything, no, it's still there. So you can never go over a car too many times. And just like washing your hands, like I was saying, like you got to wash your hands. If they're really dirty, you wash them once, you rinse them off. Guess what? You got to wash them again. They're not going to come clean on the first go around. It's just the way, I don't know why life is like that, but it's just the way it is. So right here I'm going through with a toothpick and still cleaning up compound. Really want these edges to look really nice. Yeah, and this all came in like this. This is like really old and dried up here. So, and the wood from a toothpick seems to be the safest method. And some GYEON Prep really help break that down. Get nice and squeaky clean in all these areas, because I'm going to go through a GYEON trim here soon and airbrush it all in there. So getting that prep in there now is really getting that squeaky clean ready to accept the trim ceramic. And it's great stuff. That trim ceramic really brings it back, keeps it looking, I think, better than new. So at this point you can see how clean the paint is. No dust, no compound, no compounding oils. I see guys on Instagram and YouTube, they'll say, run compound and then right over the top do your polishing. Don't even wipe it off. Don't listen to them. Wipe off the compound, degrease it with GYEON Prep, and then now go through and polish it. So right here I'm doing an in-between step where I am polishing, removing a little bit of defects. It's not my final pad. I'm actually going to go to a white pad to really, really jewel this paint. So right here I am still doing a little bit of correction, a little bit of an in-between stage. Get nice and close to the edges of these door handles. And sometimes you cannot do that with this machine. You got to get a smaller one. But this one, it did the trick. And dropping it down to a 15 millimeter orbit on this one really helps bring the shine. In my opinion, you're going to get a better clarity shine out of the 15 millimeter throw. More cut with a 21, more finish with a 15. And right here I'm going with the white pad. This is the final step where no correction is really happening, just all refinement. Really, this is what's going to make the paint look really deep and rich. And as you can see on the right, that light looks nice and sharp, and on the left it looks a little bit distorted. And as I go over the white pad, that will all go away and it will just be proper. And patience is really the key here, just taking your time panel by panel and not rushing it. You know, something like this is a 2 to 3 day process. It's not something to be done in one day. Especially on a black car. And these rags, like I said, brand new out the wrapper. And the way you gotta hold it, you gotta be very gentle. Let the fibers of the rag remove the polish. Now you see around that light, looks nice and sharp. Yeah, really let the rag do the work here. You don't want to be pushing on it or causing friction or heat. Even the heat from moving it too quickly can scratch black paint. So, time to get these rims off. I just prefer taking them off. It doesn't take me that long to do it. And the result, it's just, you know they're clean. Nice and careful. Don't want to hit the brake caliper on the way out. Cool. Going in with the GYEON iron and wheel cleaner. Something like this, like a porous satin finish. You know, sometimes they can take an acid, but the thing is, these have been repaired before with curb rash. You can see like someone had painted over them, And there's so many variables to it. It's not worth the risk, especially they weren't that bad. So in this case, the GYEON works amazing. I'm going through and polishing the insides. I mean, look how clean they came. They came really clean. Getting them ready for ceramic coating. And, I was like, you know what? From now on, when I take the rims off, I'm just going to do both sides with tire shine. Right here, it's GYEON tire. It's a ceramic-based tire dressing. And you got to work it into the grooves, get that little inside lip right there. Get everything game tight. Going with a GYEON prep. Get these things ready for ceramic. Nice and clean. And there we go. So the rim coating is a high temp coating. It can take a high temperature. And you're gonna ceramic coat this, getting everything. Just be very meticulous with it, Sometimes I'll airbrush it on there if it's a more complicated rim. These rims weren't that complicated, so I just did it by hand. And right here, I have some GYEON trim I soaked on the brush, and I'm going through and getting all the plastics. Even down there, like, this is really what dresses it up and makes it look real nice, and those plastics really should be clean all the way. Every square inch of them should be clean. Getting all that nice and, on my cars, I want to see all that clean, so making sure even the little trailer plug is clean and protected. Now this particular model, on the freeway, you do catch your eye on this. It looks really snazzy. I remember when these first came out. So I'm going to make sure this all gets polished up. Makes everything come together. Using some Zephyr Pro 40. Great stuff. Yeah, way better. Yeah, nice and game tight. All right, time to drop it down and get to the next step. Got to make sure everything is torqued to spec. Really important, guys. You take the rims off, torque them back to spec. Always go down at a down angle, less likely to scratch the paint in case something were to happen. And going in with the GYEON View. So all the glass I did not film, but was polished with cerium oxide first. And that's really going to make the glass accept this way better. I would not put this on there without doing that. Definitely always polish the glass first. Make sure you do that. So I put it on there, I let it sit for about 15 minutes. And the trick is you actually go over it a second time. And that will knock down the high spots and make it really, really easy to get off. So put it on there, 15 minutes, use a fraction of the product that you did in the beginning and just go back over it again. It will knock down the high spots. And then I like to go in with these lint-free rags. Like, I would not use anything else on glass other than these lint-free rags. They're amazing. So I always do the perimeter of the glass first, because if you start in the middle of the glass, you'll push stuff to the edges, and then that's where you get like streaks and stuff. Just get the edges first, and then work towards the center. So right here, the GYEON trim. Yeah, there's a lot of plastic going on there. It's really cool because there's louvers in the back, and when you start the car up, they open up so the air can get to the radiator. Pretty cool, but want it all protected back there and looking nice. So getting all that done. It really just brings it all together at the end. All these little details, And going for the paint now. GYEON Infinite Type 1. Brand new. Gotta have brand new applicators. I like these applicators a lot better than the small ones they come with, or like the suede block. I don't really like that. These just get the job done. And really, when you're doing ceramic coatings, really take your time and look at the product. move with the product. You don't want to go too quickly. And, you know, I've seen cars that were done in that fashion, and when you hit it with water, you can see the areas where, you know, you didn't let the product lay down how it wanted to. Use the right amount, go slow and evenly, and really just lay it on there. And that's going to give you the best result at the end. Getting the windshield wiper arm right there. And just going through really carefully and removing everything. And you don't want to aggressively rub it off. You've come this far on black paint. Slow and steady wins the race. You don't want to induce any micro marring or minute scratches or anything. You really want to just level it. So right here, getting the door all the way around the perimeter. Just like I said, panel by panel, really just take your time with it. If you start doing too much, that's when you start missing stuff. So just piece by piece. And that's like the speed right there where it lays down like a jelly. Like it really, like you can feel it gripping the paint. And like that's the speed it wants to be laid down at. Like any faster than that, like you're gonna run into issues later on. So like fill all the pores of the paint, let it really just lock in there. And that speed right there for me is what works. You know, I've been doing it a long time, and I see over the years when they come in and get a maintenance wash, I see the difference on just the prep and laying it on there right. And I really like to get everything. I really take my time and make sure I get everything on there. Every little spot matters. Every little nook and cranny matters. This particular customer didn't want to take the emblems off, so we left them on there. And it came out about 90%, 95%. And we just left them on there. Like I said, panel by panel, just break it down in small little areas. It's the best way to do it. What a great coating this is too, by the way. Great coat. And there it is. That's it in all her glory. I was real happy with this one, how it came out. We're gonna have maximum protection. Washing it's going to be a breeze, and this black paint is going to be protected. It's not going to be easily swirled like it would be naked without anything on there. And I wanted to get a shot outside in the sunlight, but man, it was like a gloomy day, so I just pulled it out. Had to get something outside real quick. Wish it was sunny though. Wish the sun was right on that thing.
Looking like glass. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, check it out.
You don't give yourself a man, it's amazing. Yeah, all the plastics are nice and clean. Front of the grill, nice and clean in there.
Alright guys, until next time, thanks for watching. I'll be posting weekly.